Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Fanservice. We're starting a little earlier because there's some horrible weather coming in, and Harley's on the road. We're probably going to lose her at some point in time. Flocky's in the middle of nowhere, so we're probably going to lose him sometime. So you'll just have me for the rest of the show. Hi, everyone. I'm Gavin, joined by...
I'm Harley, and that's a bean.
He looks
I'm a Pocky, and that's a Courtney over there.
So... This is your fun weekly geek field trip into little pop culture. We just talk about things on our mind and things that are hitting us on the internet. So let's go ahead and get this thing started today with what we've been doing this week. So, Pocky, what have you been doing this week?
Let's see. Today I just finished a 6-hour stream where I was playing Phantasy Star Online 2. Just got released for the PC, so like everyone got it on. I'm now level 16 brawler, so that's fun. Other than that, I've been working on a project to help be a better life.
Okay. What about you, Harley?
Let's see. I went to the domain today. Finally got a chance to go to the yard milkshake bar, which I laughed at because the first thing everybody says when I say that is they asked if they brought boys, and I brought 2 boys to get milkshakes. So, and then I'm making Bean's birthday shirts for next week.
Yeah, I saw the thing about the video call or something. I think I'm just going to drive down there because I need to drive down anyways. I think I'm just going to drive by and say,
he needs people. He really wants people. So if you want to come see him and give him a hug, he would love people.
What does he want? I want to pick him up something.
Oh, wait.
He doesn't need toys.
Well, there goes all the fun for me.
I know. It's just because we're clearing out his old toys, and so until clean out old toys, he's not getting anything else.
I know what I'm going to get.
But if you would like to buy him like Star Wars clothes,
You'll just have to text me what size he is, but I think I know what I want to get. I should drive you and Jill crazy. It'll be a box of glitter. It's going to be all over here.
Drive me crazy.
I'm just gonna make Kiddo's first dice. I mean, he needs dice. We need to start that trend.
Giant foam dice.
Giant foam dice.
I've been avoiding Kickstarter for a while, and I got back in it this week because there was something really fun. I don't know. I haven't heard Pocky talk about this, so I'm kind of excited to see what he thinks. But let me pull it up so you guys can see it. It's gelatinous cube dice that you can also use as a miniature.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw this, and I was kind of like, I kind of want it, but what they're asking for is kind of expensive. So
well, they're giant.
It's like so. I saw it. I saw it when I went and kickstarted my new 3D printer. And
another new 3D printer.
It's the same company. They are making a level free 3D printer, so it automatically levels the bed, and
nice.
It is $285, and it's the same company. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna get that.
Maybe I'm trying to get my money back on mine. That's on back order and do that one instead.
Yeah, and I'll send you the link for the Kickstarter.
Yes,
but when I saw the gelatinous cube dice, I kept laughing, and I was like, man, I think I'm gonna make homemade gelatinous cube soap and just put dice in it.
I went ahead and pre-ordered it because I love it. It makes me laugh. But I got back on because one of my favorite Kickstarters of all time was Nemesis. Like, that game was amazing. And they're releasing a standalone expansion that I'm super excited for tomorrow. And I'm like, what? And you can buy all the original stuff if you don't have it.
Nemesis Lockdown is a standalone expansion to the hit board game Nemesis.
And it takes place on Mars like if it's Doom.
Cinematic sci-fi horror experience and doesn't require the Nemesis core box. Nemesis Lockdown includes a new, exciting board that lets you discover a secret lab on Mars.
100% ready.
New immersive rooms, items, secret goals, events, and weaknesses.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for this one to come through. I've got all these 3D printed files for Nemesis to print, including an actual spaceship board. I'm so ready. Like, I'm ready for Lockdown to be done, so everyone can come over and we can play the fuck out of these games.
Technically, Lockdown is already over.
A lot of people still don't want to go be a lot of socialing, so I'm going to give it till midsummer. I think
they want to go beyond Plus Ultra in the quarantine.
Yeah, they wanted to be a little bit crazy, and I was like, okay, whatever, y'all, just get over it. But because we want to do like a post-apocalyptic barbecue in the backyard and have people come over and play games, and Phil's friends will become DJ and stuff. We're gonna have lots of fun, but yes. So tomorrow Nemesis Lockdown launches, and I will be right there waiting for it to launch, and I will be done because that is one of the most amazing games I've ever put my hands on. All right, so let's get started with what we're gathering. What we do is we gather our stories all week long, so we can talk about them together. We try not to talk about them a lot during the week because so much happens when we talk. So we're going to kick off this week with Build-A-Bear and Animal Crossing. Jill, Harvey swears this is happening. How do you know this is happening?
So I have a friend that works in both companies, and they did mention something about it.
You know someone everywhere, and I fucking hate you for that sometimes. Like, hey,
I know somebody that works at Build-A-Bear.
Really, look at these
they're
already got him. Oh.
They were talking about doing a Build-A-Bear Animal Crossing crossover, and it is going to be really funny because I want to see how they do it. And with how popular Animal Crossing is right now due to quarantine, I have a feeling this is going to be another one of those things where people stand in line for 6 or 7 hours to get a teddy bear that is sold out.
Okay, so if they were smart, they would do an Isabella teddy bear with a Doom Guy outfit. If they just made a Doom Guy inspired outfit, they would be geniuses. Geniuses.
Like, I mean, I can see like it being a Marshall, or with how popular Raymond is right now, I could see them doing a Raymond bear too.
I can see them doing all three. I can see them doing all
like
three.
If they make a Raymond bear, it's game over.
I will probably get it if it's Isabel, but I'll tell you what, if they make a Tom Nook, it's going to be the only teddy bear that's going to charge you for it every time you look at it.
It's going to be 10 billion bells just for looking at me.
Every time you push that button to make him sound, you owe me money. Oh, I'm going to put you back in the closet now.
But then he shows up and said you owe me money, sir.
I just opened my third room in my house today, so
I cheated when the item duplication hack was out, and I just saved up all the bells from duplicating switches a billion times and I just paid off my house before they did that update.
Well, I actually
you took it seriously and started later than I did too.
I did. Well, see, yesterday I sent you a message. My turnips were selling for $435, and I went on the Austin group and put my dodo code, and everyone came by, and they all gave me money just for letting me come by. So I paid off my one room I had open because I wasn't really caring, and went ahead and paid for my second room. Yeah, it was pretty fun. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do this. And you're right, the virtual queue was no fun for Baby Yoda, but it was worth it at the end of the day. I think it's so freaking adorable. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do because I love the style of the Animal Crossing characters. I think you could trade, like, they already make so many Animal Crossing plush. I don't know what Build-A-Bear could possibly bring to the table outside of a Doom Guy outfit.
It'll just be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. So outside of that, going to a much darker part of the universe, Warhammer 40K announced an update this week. Pocky, tell us about it.
So basically, it's this. What edition, sweetie? The 6th edition.
I'm gonna show off the video while you're.
Ninth edition of Warhammer 40K.
It's the 9th edition, y'all. For that complicated universe to be the 9th edition. Wow.
So basically, I like to make the joke. That means some miniatures are now worthless, so your money's now gone, and some miniatures. It's always.
I know.
Yeah. It's not that bad, but it's going to be a new edition. They're actually kind of listening to fans this time. They're not as many models being removed. There's not an entire squad just vanishing off the face of the earth, or entire species missing off the face of the earth. They're focusing more on the Necrons, which is what you're kind of seeing here. There's going to be the new Silent King, which that model looks really, really good. Basically everyone's getting revamped, retooled. if you're a Warhammer 40K fan, you pretty much already know everything going on. If you're not a Warhammer 40K fan, I would suggest go into the boards and read the big differences and changes because I don't play that franchise because I don't have that level of expendable. Yeah, I don't have that level of expendable income. But the lore of the franchise is good.
I don't have the patience.
I love the 40K lore. I actually have a Tyranid army out in my garage somewhere in a box. It's probably way outdated by now, but I have a Tyranid army.
The miniatures themselves probably not be outdated, but the rules would be. You just have to get the new rules.
And I have a friend that Kill Team, and I really like what they did with Kill Team. I think that's what they should do with the whole feature because what was it? War Machine?
I'm just excited that they're putting out the Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
So basically, I was just told that the current codex is just the current codex is because they release additional. They're the core. They release more codexes.
Yeah.
They're going to release basically the minor updates that are the core thing. If you want, if you want to buy just what the minor updates are and the fixes, you can get that. So they are listening to more of the fan base versus the your codex is now worth. Please go buy the $50 book again.
Well, I like the fact that when they do, they always focus on different things. Like Lance has a whole Necron army. He put it all together. It's amazing looking. And my brother has a lot of like Space Marines and stuff like that. So, like, I started Warhammer a long time ago. I can't play fantasy. I have to play 40K. I love the lore. I've got 40K Relic in my house. I love it. It's so complicated sometimes, and I don't have the time to sit down and play a day-long game.
You don't have to. We need to fix this. You don't have to make those big long games. You don't have to make it long and lengthy. There are rules for a quick, very short skirmish.
Which is why I like Kill Team and what they did with Kill Team. Like when I first started playing 40K, we took all day. Like it was insane. We had so much fun with it.
But there's now a lot of options. There's more options. There's going to be more options, even more fun things to be had. I as I was talking to a chat that was blowing up when I had friends who were watching the Twitch live event of this where they were talking about it, and it's like I got the hype and it was kind of making me jealous that this is not my franchise, but it looks really good. It looks enjoyable. If like I say, if you're Warhammer 40K fan, you probably already know about this. If any of that on that screen looked really good, go find a Games Workshop store. There's a couple of them in Austin, and go learn.
I know where's the one up north? Because Harley used to work at one that sold a bunch of stuff.
It is Game Castle, and they do play on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday and Thursday, there is a Warhammer group that plays. And if you want to learn, they will happily teach.
Yeah, I know Dragon Slayer has a special table.
I learned so much. I learned so much stuff about Warhammer while I was there.
Yeah. I love the paints they make. They make the greatest little model paints. I love that stuff.
They do. Okay, so their model paints are not my favorite, just because the pots are crap that they're in. The paints are okay, but like every time they put out a paint, like 6 months later, Vallejo puts out the same paint, and I usually buy Vallejo.
See, I didn't even think about that one. Oh, man, it got real windy all of a sudden outside. Yeah, I got real crazy with painting and stuff, but yeah, I have friends who spent way too much money on this. They have multiple armies. I don't even go on Facebook, eBay looking at 40K stuff because it's just ridiculous. Like,
it's like, so I'm friends with Knights of the Game Table, and knowing how much Adam and Kevin have spent on figures over the years, just like, I feel like it's almost like me and fabric and cosplay stuff. It'd be cheaper if I had a drug addiction.
Yeah.
I have two friends that every conventions they teach people how to play Warhammer 40K, and they have an old China cabinet, that old like 12-foot long your grandmother had China cabinet. Yeah. They have one of those, and all it is their armies.
It's not just their armies. You have more in that cabinet than just their Warhammer stuff.
They probably have a bunch of the terrain and stuff as well.
Warhammer,
75%. Yeah, terrain and like vehicles.
I used to love making terrain, though.
It's like right before I left. It's like right before I left the store, there was a gentleman who sold his entire collection. He was going blind, and he had painstakingly painted every little figure, and everything was magnetized, and it was crazy, like watching people come in for those figures.
I remember that.
Yep.
So if you played 40K, I would obviously play Tyranids, but what about you, Pocket? What would you play?
Tau.
I can see that one. About you, Harley? If you say anything with Dark Elves,
Sisters of Battle.
No, Sisters of Battle. Okay, I was about to say Dark Elves.
Guns.
Yeah.
It would be the universe's.
It's like I haven't bought a bunch of these stupid figures just to build Jill a giant Saints outfit.
Oh my. All right, next up on our list is theme parks are getting ready to be back open, and they have some interesting ideas. Harley, tell us about it.
All right, so starting at the beginning of the month, Disney and Universal Studios are reopening. Now, it is a big internet blow up about them reopening, not because of quarantine, but because of their mask restrictions. People are being told they have to wear a mask inside the park. And people, of course, are screaming and crying because it infringes their rights being asked to wear a mask inside of a theme park. And, you know, they're only opening at 25% capacity. And they are opening parks.
The time to go. The time to go, right there.
Like it's fantastic. People don't want to go because they have to wear a mask, and they're only opening at 25% capacity. That just screams I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, the other thing I thought that was interesting is they're going to start playing with virtual queues. Like with FastPass, you can already book times. But
yes.
A whole virtual queue system, I think, would save theme parks so much time and make people have more time to shop. I guess is the best way to put it.
It's like so we have Six Flags passes, and we get the Fast Pass, but you're literally virtual queuing it, and you can walk around the park and do other stuff while your Fast Pass is in queue.
Yeah.
And I find it fantastic because I just set my thing up, and we'll go to the water park, or we'll go do like games and stuff and food, and my pass will vibrate and go, hey, it's your ride time. And there's a Fast Pass line, and we just stand in line right there, scan our Fast Pass, and we're ready to go and get on rides.
Do you think that if they're going to start implementing that for everything, because the theme parks have been monetizing that forever, that could become the new norm? And
it could. I mean, we knew going into quarantine that we were going to come out and it was not going to be the same it was. I mean, you're having to get temperature checks at places. Masks are being required in certain places, and it's not a horrible ordeal. I mean, we knew this was gonna be a thing, and Disney in China and Japan have already started to implement this because they opened ahead of time.
Yeah, they opened last week or something, I think.
Yeah, they opened last week as a test, and it has worked fantastic. Now with the new norms, there are reservations required, so they're using the same system they used when they opened Galaxy's Edge, and you have to reserve your spot and time to get into the theme park. So I mean, with them only opening at 25% capacity, there's a lot of people complaining because you having a season pass or being an annual pass holder does not guarantee your spot in line for the day. You have to go through the reservation system like everybody else.
I think this is a good thing because one thing, they're going to save on real estate space from the line queues, because I watched the virtual Harry Potter ride from Universal Studios, and it's like a 20-minute video where 15, 16 minutes is just walking through the queue with no one there.
Yeah. Like, we watched them do the Jaws ride too, the same way.
If you could use all that for other things, like maybe ride stuff, and everyone just had the virtual queue,
it'd be fantastic.
3 lines would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, like another thing that's going to be weird is the distance between you and the characters. They're not doing the up close character greetings anymore.
There goes all those photos people want to take, which whatever, y'all, more power to you. But
Yeah,
no,
they're
I think it's going to be
distant character greetings.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with this. And I would like it if they didn't monetize the RSVP system if they're going to keep it, because I think, it's expensive to go there anyways. Let's just make it a lot better for
Yeah,
them.
I mean it's $280 a day for an adult single day non-park hopper pass. That doesn't include a food pass. That doesn't include hotel. I mean, that's just you getting a single ticket for the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because when the park opened originally, tickets were 15 cents a piece. But then again, they only had 6 rides.
Well, and also you had to buy the ticket book like if you're at a carnival, and you gave the tickets to the ride. So.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this plays out. I really, really hope to keep the virtual queue system, because that would free up so much space, especially when the new Universal land they're building with the Mario Land and the other stuff. I just think if you could do more thematic and not spend so much time on queues, you could build bigger rides that are more exciting, and you have more thematic world involving elements instead of sitting in a line for 2 hours, because that's 2 hours wasted. You can't eat, you can't shop, you can't see anything else in the park. Anyways, I hope
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a good. It's getting more people to go through the lines will mean more people will also want to go. Yeah, I mean, some people are like, well, I don't want to go because I want to go see 4. It's going to be open for 8 hours. I want to get to do 3 rides, and that's not worth $150.
When we go to Disney, all I really want to do are the dark rides. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love Haunted Mansion. I love those little dark rides. I don't really do the roller coasters much anymore because I just don't care for them. It's the fun dark rides that I love. I love doing those. But yeah, it'll be fun. You just totally digitaled out there. You must be in the middle of something.
I know I'm in the middle of something right now. If you guys,
I'm almost home.
So next up, how many of you guys watched Tuca and Birdie on Netflix? You'll have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
I think I do. I need to look at it.
Okay, I'm going to show you the trailer because Netflix canceled after 1 season. It's one of the Courtney would love the show.
Wait, I know this show. Yeah, this is the.
I thought this was a spinoff of.
Looks like a BoJack Horseman knockoff.
It looks like that, but it's not.
Oh yeah, I miss you.
So they canceled it, and Netflix canceled it, and Toonami or Adult Swim, somebody else picked it up. So we're gonna get more of it.
Article of clothing that's impossible.
Well, yeah, it was extraordinarily popular.
It was. That's what I'm getting. It was so popular. And it was just completely fun. Like the toucan is bat guano crazy, and the other birds and sparrows kind of like neurotic, and they deal with female issues in a real way, and it was just really fun to watch.
I feel like something's missing.
Yeah,
About me while I'm gone.
So one of the reasons it got canceled was basically because Netflix is all about their algorithm. In fact, getting a show made and produced now has to basically you have to prove to them that it will hit their magical number computer system. And biggest thing it has to do is it has to become as big as She-Ra or Stranger Things or whatever other big what Netflix makes big. This didn't get big. It didn't become BoJack Horseman. It didn't become Stranger Things. It didn't become She-Ra, so it canceled it because they wanted.
It didn't become B-Stars.
It didn't become B-Stars, yes.
But see, it goes back to the thing, just like Daybreakers, amazing series, everybody loves and gets such good critical acclaim. And they're like, we're gonna go make another reality show. God, because I did watch The Circle, that was such a waste of 2 days.
But it's all they care about is numbers. So when you have a bean
then I don't
counter,
think the algorithms are working correctly if they're just looking at numbers. Simply because I know people were watching these shows, just like I know people were watching Lost in Space, and we're still getting the 3rd season of Lost in Space.
Yeah, but that's because it also was like a cultural thing. Like when it showed up, people talked about it on social media. Not a lot of people.
The problem with this show, though, was I honestly thought it was a spinoff of BoJack Horseman when I watched it.
It looks like a spinoff of BoJack Horseman.
It's created by them, and I completely expected a BoJack Horseman universe show, but that's not it. and I think that's probably what kind of derailed people at first, because BoJack Horseman is really fucking good, but this show is really, really good.
But it also BoJack Horseman,
BoJack Horseman.
Horse. Man.
BoJack Horseman catered to bros. It was the Bob the Burger. It was the Rick and Morty crew. Loved that show. And as you said, part of the description of the show was it dealt with a lot of female issues. Well, females, because it's part of what looks like something that BoJack Horseman would made, a lot of women may not want to watch it. I'm not saying that all women wouldn't, but it's not really a female. It's not really geared toward them. It's not like something they made.
BoJack Horseman's geared towards everybody. It deals with all sorts of things.
But when you're looking at something, you're like, oh, I know where this is going because it's done by BoJack Horseman. I know where this is going to go. Instead, it didn't know where that was going, but because
Have you watched BoJack Horseman, because that's a pretty deep show sometimes.
Right, but
I haven't watched it. The animation drives me nuts.
It deals with some really heavy issues and emotional issues and mental health issues and personal. Like, it gets real heavy sometimes. In this other show, it's very lighthearted. It's very fun.
Yes, but what I'm saying is a lot of the people who also watch the Rick and Morty show and Bob Burger and watch BoJack Horseman skip a lot of the darkness. They're like, he's an asshole.
So I'm glad it's been saved. And I had completely forgot we were going to talk about something real quick. So let me pull this up so Harley can see what we were talking about. Because Pocky really wants to talk about Mario nipples.
Mario nipples!
These are the Lego sets.
Yeah.
They make
that does not look like nipples.
They make booster packs for this, and it looks like he's wearing nipples. Like, it's oddly placed. We're going to talk about this way more tomorrow night.
The blue on the gold makes sense. Wait till you
his nipples are like all the way into his armpits.
Wait, you get the white.
Find another one.
Get to the Fire Mario.
Let me.
Because Fire Mario is really where that and I think Tanuki Mario or something like that, where they're brown.
Oh, this one's yellow. Here we go. Let me share this one with you guys. This one you can kind of see, but it is kind of awkwardly placed. Not gonna lie. I mean, I get it. It's just the design, but like, yeah, they just kind of look a little weird.
Yeah, look Mario.
Look at his face. He's like, oh, it's in my nipples.
Yeah,
like,
you play with my nipples. Carly's like really skinny at her
impressed. She's like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's the fact that they're the same color as the outfit. It does not help.
I love the fact that that's Harley's stuck face right there.
Yeah,
she got home. Okay, so, well, she had most of everything else we were going to talk. Okay, what did you think?
I mean,
oh, she's stuck somewhere. Her phone is going completely out of range here.
Because I really want to know her opinion about our next story. We may have to wait for the next story because we have to hear her opinion.
I love how it picks the weirdest spots to freeze on Harley. Like,
there we go.
All right. So, what did you think of the Mario Lego?
So, like, if they're supposed to be his nipples, they should be front and center and not in his armpits.
Well, it's a Lego figure, yo. Come on.
It's also supposed to be buttons to. It's also supposed to be buttons to a.
His overalls.
Yeah,
it's not even properly placed for that.
How Pocky sees nipples, I just laugh.
I understand that other people saw nipples too.
All right, Harley. Well, let's hear your thoughts on this one. That they officially announced the Labyrinth sequel.
Yes!
I knew it. I was so excited. I was like, yes. But how did I share that with you before you shared it with me? This is my biggest question. Like.
Because I shared it on other things.
Oh, I see. You didn't send it to me. When I
figured you'd already seen it.
No, the first time I saw it was when I sent it to you. The group chat was like, yes. Wait, isn't he dead, though? Isn't David Bowie dead?
Yes, dear. David Bowie died.
So who's
the same year? Alan Rickman. The same year and week Alan Rickman died.
Oh, that's just bad.
Death wanted a date.
So
damn you, Death! You took 2016, took Alan Rickman and David Bowie from me.
I don't know what story they're going to possibly tell unless they go into the fan theory section.
There is a visual novel telling it is a sequel to Labyrinth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it
I
could
don't
be from the comic. It could be the story from the manga that was a sequel. It could be
a
anything.
prequel.
So the prequel, there are two different prequels. And with both of them are comics, and I could see them doing it, or they could go the route of the book. So there is actually a book version too. So it'd be really interesting to see their take. I remember when I originally saw it, there was something about a cast list, and it was going to have Johnny Depp and Lady Gaga play something, and I'm like, I don't want that.
That was like about 3 years ago, because that was when you were
was 3 years ago, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want that.
Well, the Lady Gaga,
it was going to go off.
If she plays the Goblin Queen.
You can see, I don't want that.
Well,
I want Jennifer Connelly.
I'm really, really excited for this because, one, I loved Labyrinth growing up, and two, look what they did with the Dark Crystal prequel. Like, that is one of the most amazing shows. And think about what they could do with today's technology to do something on that level and just be like, wow. Completely just blown away.
Like, I am huge. I have always been a huge Labyrinth fan. And, you know, with me having the comics and the mangas, I'm happy to accept pretty much anything they do. But I would love to see Jennifer Connelly come back.
Yeah, because she's aged really well.
Yeah. she aged beautifully.
I have to make that joke about, like, she was up for an Oscar for Beautiful Mind. So the store I worked at, we decided to play her, like, because Labyrinth was like one of her first movies. So, like, yeah, let's play Labyrinth. And you think that she's like part of Beautiful Mind's Oscar, and I'm like, man, that's gonna be like twist.
Yeah, no, you could have played Requiem for a Dream, where she goes ass to ass.
Yeah. You could have played Darkwater.
Yeah. She's been amazing, and I can't wait till they start releasing. I want to know who they're going to cast for everything. That's my biggest thing. Is who's going to possibly fill those shoes?
I would love to see them either do the sequel or do the manga prequel, the Jim Henson.
I'm going to do 5-1 odds that the Goblin King will be played by Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I can see it.
He's popular right now. They'll get him.
I can see it.
Those CGI David Bowie's crotch.
That thing was unnatural. That thing was unreal.
It was a potpourri bag.
Watching, giant dicks on screen as a kid, no.
It was a potpourri bag in his pants.
Whatever. It was unnecessary.
It was. He felt bad for the contact juggler. Because it would get really hot on set, and that poor contact juggler is next to his sweaty balls contact juggling.
My wife said Hiddleston as the Goblin King.
No.
I would accept that.
He's already done Broadway. He's also done off-Broadway, so he could do it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You have to remember his role was Billy. What's the play about the boy who wants to be a ballerina?
I don't know.
Boy wants to be a ballerina?
Billy Madison. He was Billy Madison in the Broadway off-Broadway.
Madison was about a boy who wants to be a ballerina? I thought Billy Madison was a movie about a spoiled rich kid.
No, I think you're hold on, we'll have to look it up later.
Because I'm pretty sure you're talking about Adam Sandler right now. That's not what that movie was about at all. So we will definitely be revisiting this once they announce more. But Harley also sent a fun clip about Silent Hill coming to Death by Daylight. Yes? I don't know if I'm excited.
Billy Elliot.
I mean, it's an expansion. They're bringing in Heather and Cheryl. And they're bringing in Pyramid Head and the Executioner. So it's exciting for me.
So we can now have Cheryl running away from Freddy Krueger and Shelly running away from Pyramid Head. Billy Madison, thank you. Billy Madison was an Amazon. Yes. You're thinking Billy Madison.
This is an interesting crossover. I will give him that much.
I'm always excited with Silent Hill.
I would just like a good remaster of the originals. They haven't done that yet, have they?
No.
They haven't remastered the first one. They did remaster 2 and 3, and they're very pretty. They did them on an HD collection. Though I did see somebody redo the diner scene from the first Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
And it was done in God, what is the name of that system now?
Unreal? Unity?
Yeah, Unreal Engine. And it was fucking gorgeous.
Like, see, the first one was my favorite one of that series. I loved it. I enjoyed The Room. I thought 2 was okay, but the first one just really, really unnerved me.
1 and 2 and 3 were like just a great trilogy. Well, they weren't a trilogy because 2.
So why are you going? No, don't remaster them.
Because it's Konami.
Oh yeah. Well,
so what?
Now
the HD collection, they removed all the fog because the fog was how the processor, how they were.
But you could also go through and change the settings to bring the fog back. Because I know I did it. Like, unpopular opinion, I really liked the most recent Silent Hill game, which everybody hated.
Downpour? Or
yeah, I loved Downpour.
I like Downpour too.
Downpour for me was gorgeous, open world, and yeah, it didn't have the main characters, so it didn't have Pyramid Head or anything. It brought in a new character like the Executioner, but to me, it fit in the game. It made sense because not everybody is going to have Pyramid Head as what they see as death. I mean, he is symbolized as death and judgment, and everybody has like weird lore, but Silent Hill is my jam, and I mean, it even states he's not the same thing everybody else sees.
No,
so
he's the face of your executioner, depending on who you are.
Yeah. So like him not being Pyramid Head is fine. Him being the actual character called the Executioner makes sense.
Yeah. It wasn't Downpour. It was because Downpour was the one that did have Pyramid Head.
No, Downpour did not have Pyramid Head. Downpour was open world. Homecoming had Pyramid Head.
Right. Sorry, I was thinking I got them two switched. Sorry.
Yeah, Downpour is where anytime it rains, it becomes Silent Hill. Yeah. And it was open world, and Homecoming was the last one with Pyramid Head in it.
Yeah, but instead of the chisel, it was a
shovel head.
So, did you like the movies? Because I thought the movies were actually pretty good.
So I started the series with the movie. I didn't have the games. So when the first movie came out, I was still in middle school. And so that is how I started my love of the Silent Hill trilogy. My dad and I sat on the couch, and he's like, "This is going to be a horror movie," and I was like, "I don't know, it's a video game. Might as well." So we watched it, and then immediately I turned around and bought all the games. So much so that I actually have the Japanese Silent Hill arcade in my garage.
Oh, the Time Splitters style game?
Yep.
With the boat. So we can go play.
And now they have.
I just have to have room to do it. Right now, all my power tools are out there, so I can't even plug in the DDR machine.
You have a DDR machine too.
Pull the lever.
Oh, I love Harley. She's so much fun.
Jill had to have a DDR machine. So
no, I don't want them unless Konami starts selling their franchises to allow actual game companies to start making games with their games. No, I do not want to see Konami touch a franchise. They already had a Silent Hill game in the makes, but because they had to go fire Kojima because they're petty.
But they're working together again.
No video game drama. All right, we're almost done. We got 2 more stories. So tell me about this Return of the Dark Rangers. Is it in the comic books, I take it?
So I didn't really get a whole lot of info. It was just something that popped in when I was scrolling my Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Because we're doing a Five Nights at Freddy lore party. Because one of my friend's kids is super into Five Nights at Freddy. And we told him if he was going to watch Five Nights at play the games, he had to know the story of the lore. He couldn't just play the games, just play the game. And listen to the people do the music videos. And so it popped in while I was watching videos for that. And but they are in talks to bring back the Dark Rangers. So brings back my favorite, which is the Ranger Killer, Pink Ranger.
Yeah, which oddly enough is in the board game I have. That's the one figure you always play.
I had to play. I was like, I have to be the Ranger Killer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they are talking about bringing them back. And I believe it is Morphin Power Rangers, so it should be a TV series.
Well, it's by Boom Studios, so it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd be very interested. Like, I was the first gen Power Ranger kid here in America.
Yeah.
And you know, I did Kamen Rider a little bit in Japan, but I mean, to see them bring the Dark Rangers and see them bring them to real life versus in the comics, I'm kind of excited.
Have you seen, what them look like? Because you could tell who they are.
Oh yeah, you can tell who they are. But yeah, no, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it.
Well, I hope they do something really good because Green Ranger's always on Kickstarter doing his own little independent, really badass Power Ranger fan films. Like, he just did one about the Legend of the Dragon Ranger. With like, oh my god, like Power Rangers, I'm surprised it's lasted this long. I remember hearing the stories about when it first came. No one thought it would go anywhere, and here we are, how many iterations later, and it's still going strong.
A billion series later.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend that made me sit down and watch the original Kamen Rider in Japan where they were card suites, and I was like, oh god, please make it stop.
Well, GameStop's going to release a wedding pack of Lord Zed and Rita together. I think I'm going to buy.
Of course you're going to buy it. You and Mike both. You guys can go hold hands and go buy it together.
Well, I had to get Phil the Lightning Edition of Goldar because that was his favorite. And I need to get me a Zed and a Rita because I fucking love Zed and Rita. I even had a giant stuffed Lord Zed. It was the weirdest thing. Just bizarrely ugly, and I had it. Yeah.
I met the voice actor who played Lord Zed. He was a nice guy.
Yeah,
me too. He's nice. He is a nice man. He was my first con that I was head of the green room. I had him and Kevin Conroy, and I hated Kevin Conroy.
You know, he also voiced the main villain of the first Robotech series. So basically, that man, every time some major geek event happens, that man is the voice of a villain for it.
Or he was.
I think he's still alive.
No, I think he died.
No matter how far the fandom goes for Power Rangers, I'm always about the original lineups. I even have the Ivan Ooze movie because Ivan Ooze was just hilariously bad. I mean, that whole movie was just...
It was bad.
It was really bad.
I mean, if we're going to go back to the originals, talking about weird stuff, I started watching bad 90s original animes that I started out on as a kid, and I'm like, wow, these were fucking bad.
I tried to watch Samurai Pizza Cats. I couldn't do it.
I sat down and started watching Fushigi Yugi again.
Oh, no. Can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
It was awful.
Oh.
All right, so the last thing we're going to tonight is this is me for Harley. Did you see all the fun Funko things that were announced for Halloween?
I did. I've already pre-ordered Nightmare Before Christmas stuff.
I went ahead and did the 2 Beetlejuice ones. I did the 3 of the Flying Witches from whatchamacallit, Hocus Pocus. I did the Mickey and Minnie. Here's all those Nightmare for Christmas ones. I thought they were okay. Like I kind of like.
I have to get the Beetlejuice ones because I'm still missing 2 from my original set.
I have everything pre-ordered on Amazon right now.
I also need to finish my Rock Candy set with Lydia and the red wedding dress.
The only thing I wasn't impressed with were these Edward Scissorhands ones because I have the original Edward Scissorhands.
They're ugly. I don't like them.
But I did get a Killer Clown one, the one with the balloon animal. I had to, and I got the Corpse Bride, of course.
Yeah, I got the Corpse Bride just because Emily is one of my favorites.
She's just awesome. But I love the fact that everyone's let's do Halloween before summertime hits. I'm all for that, y'all. Bring it on.
Give me my Halloween stuff. Let me pre-order it.
I want the Minion ones. I want the Minions.
I also love the fact that
have you heard the theory that there are smaller mini pops inside the pop heads?
Which ones?
So apparently, I watch a lot of TikTok.
I'm willing to play that game.
I'm willing to buy like a really ugly one that I don't like on discount to see.
Okay, you guys wait right here because I have one that's broken that a kid broke. I'm gonna go pull it up. I'll be right back.
Okay, so put the heat. You have I would boil some water and stick it in there so you can just pop its head off.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
I'll go with that. I love Silent Hill. That is always a really great franchise.
Yeah, Silent Hill to me is a fantastic thing. Are you munching Cheetos? So. Cheeto muncher. No. Dorian, can you say hi? Yeah, you're cute.
Yeah, no, and Lord Zed did pass away at age 70 last year. I forgot about that.
Told you. I remember.
Yeah, I liked him too. He was a really nice guy.
I was I remember when people die. Because we were in the age of my childhood is dying.
That was what made me upset was when they ended the Zordon saga, which was all the Power Rangers up to a point.
Broke again. We're going to figure this out.
Okay, we're going to figure this out if there's actually something in the head.
They made Lord Zed human with Rita. They didn't get him.
Huh?
I don't see anything in there.
Okay. Maybe it's not all of them. But I have seen people pull out little mini pops out of people's heads.
I wonder if it's like a Jeep thing, because Jeeps always have... Oh, wait. I don't know if it's just the top of the head joint or what, but... why would they do that? Why would they do that, I wonder?
I don't know. It's weird.
Is it attached?
No, there's... I don't know. Yeah, this head's attached. I just took it off. I now have a headless Gandalf. Or not, Sauron. You can see where they put his face on to the back end of the head. But there's nothing in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can see there's nothing in there except the hole where they attached the front of the Man, I'm disappointed.
So I wonder if it's just every once in a while they'll do it. Because I've seen so many people pull weird little tiny figures out of their pop heads. And I was none of my pops I'm brave enough to take the head off.
Well,
I like all mine too much.
I've stopped opening a lot of mine. I've got a bunch over there. And just
all of mine have never been open. They're all sitting on the shelves. Or you've seen my wall. I stick them on the wall with pins and they just kind of stack there. So I've never opened one of mine.
But
and they're usually just free floating around the house.
Yeah, I've got all the Star Wars ones on the wall in the living room. I've got
a whole bunch of My Hero.
I got this week. I got Karen Walker from Will and Grace, and I got Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes.
I am probably going to lose you guys soon.
Well, we're done. So that's it for today's show. It seems like I can see the bad weather's coming in here too. So we're done for today's episode. We'll be back next week. Have lots of fun. Don't forget tomorrow we'll be doing Super Gamer Bros, and I have some surprising news from my Gamer Bros.
I may not be here. I do get off at 8:15. I might be late. If not, Courtney will probably replace me because she's got a bunch of news for you too.
Okay, so we're gonna figure this out tomorrow. We'll see you guys at 8 for Super Gamer Bros. We'll see you next week at this time. And Mondays is it Skull and Cross? I don't know where I got.
Skull and Rose.
Skull and Rose. I don't know why I keep.
Because if you look at our arms, Jill is covered in skulls and I'm covered in roses.
Yeah, so you get them on Monday nights as well. So
we're not every Monday night. We've had to alternate due to the weather lately because the weather knocks our internet out because we have Spectrum and it's crap.
I have Spectrum here too. I feel you. That's all we get. Okay, so we'll see you guys next week. Bye.